firing FBI officials who investigated his crimes. These acts of retribution are abuses of power, and it's an impeachable offense. Donald Trump declares emergency at the border with Mexico, an abuse of the emergency power, claiming there's somehow an invasion happening, which then he uses to send thousands of troops to the border. An abuse of power, an impeachable offense. Donald Trump has engaged in threatening to displace Palestinians from Gaza. Wholesale ethnic cleansing, which would implicate all Americans in war crimes and crimes against humanity. An abuse of power, an impeachable offense. The list goes on, and we have documented all this at impeachtrumpagain.org. And this is why it's so critical that we invoke this remedy at this moment in our history. We recognize that the votes may not be there today to start impeachment proceedings, but we need to raise this call all across the country. We need to raise it with our members of Congress. We need to raise it with our friends and our neighbors. We need to make clear that Donald Trump he's already engaged in multiple abuses of power, and he must be impeached and removed from office. This is an existential moment for our nation and for our democracy. It requires all of us to stand up and be clear that we will defend our Constitution, we will defend our republic in peaceful means, but we will demand that our elected officials in Congress carry out the mandate of their oath to protect the Constitution at this critical time. And today that means that they join Congressman Al Green, who has already stood up to demand impeachment proceedings against this president, that they join him and they carry out their oath to stand and defend our democracy. Thank you all for being here today, and we will continue to march on together in the defense of our republic.
I'm very happy and very honored to introduce our next speaker. He is the founder of American Opposition, strategic communications expert, and proud immigrant from the Dominican Republic. Please give a very warm welcome to Carlos Alvarez Araños. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Carlos Alvarez Araños, and I'm the founder of American Opposition. We built American Opposition because our elected leaders have failed us. Because the institutions that were supposed to protect democracy have crumbled in the face of corruption and cowardice. Because we refuse to sit by and watch as our country is dismantled from within. We are gathered here today not just to protest, but to demand action. Not just to speak, but to be heard. Not just to resist, but to win. Because sometimes the enemies are foreign, but sometimes they're domestic. We are here because Donald Trump has already done what we swore we would never allow. He has turned this country into a fascist dictatorship in all but name. He has corrupted our courts. He has hijacked our government. He has destroyed our economy. And he is ruling not as a president, but as a king. For years, we have warned that this could happen. We have seen the signs, the attacks on our press, the destruction of our institutions, the purge of civil servants, the elevation of billionaires who serve their own interests over the interests of the people. And now we see what happens when those warnings go unheeded. We are watching our country be taken from us in real time. And let's be clear about what Donald Trump has done. He has weaponized the Department of Justice to attack his political opponents while pardoning criminals who serve his agenda. He has purged government agencies of experts and installed loyalists who will carry out his orders, no matter how illegal or dangerous. He has shut down investigations into his own corruption while launching baseless attacks against those who dare to expose him. He has betrayed our allies, weakened our global standing, and given our enemies everything they could have ever hoped for. And he has done all of this with the support of his enablers in Congress. Men and women who took an oath to the Constitution, but who now submit to a man who has spent his entire life serving only himself. Right now, at this very moment, there are Republicans in Congress who know what Donald Trump is. They know he's a danger to this nation. They know he is unfit to serve. They know he is a fraud, a criminal, and a coward. And yet, they stay silent. They stay silent because they fear his followers. They stay silent because they fear him. They stay silent because they've convinced themselves that someone else is going to fix this. But history doesn't bend towards justice on its own. It bends because people like us demand it. Because we make it so. So today, we send this message to every Republican in Congress who still believes in the rule of law. Stand the fuck up! You can stand with Donald Trump or you can stand with America. You can continue to cower in the shadows or you can step forward and do what's right. You can fight for your own career or you can fight for your country. But you can't do both. We are launching a nationwide campaign to pressure every Republican to join us in removing Donald Trump from office. We are naming names. We are targeting districts. We are organizing in ways that no opposition movement has ever organized before. We will protest. We will boycott. We will discover their secrets and share them with the world. And if they refuse to act, we will make sure they pay personal penalties for as long as they live. Their choice is simple: America or Trump. Because, let me be clear, the American people are more powerful than Elon Musk. We are more powerful than Congress. And we are more powerful than Donald Trump. We are ready to fight. This fight is not just about politics. It's about our survival. It's about the families struggling to put food on the table while Trump lines his pockets. It's about the communities destroyed by climate change while Trump cuts environmental policies. It's about the students whose education is being censored, the women whose rights are being taken away, the workers who are being exploited, the immigrants who are being scapegoated, and our marginalized communities who are being brutalized. It's about the journalists and the scientists who are being silenced. It's about every single person in this country who still believes that America is worth fighting for. This is not a fight we can afford to lose. We are not going to wait for the next election. We are not going to wait for the courts to save us. We are taking action now. Starting today, we will be mobilizing in every state, in every district, in every community across this nation. We are building a movement that no politician and no media can ignore. We will make sure that every Republican in Congress knows that their silence is complicity, and that complicity is a death sentence to our democracy. And we will make sure that every Democrat faces a similar reckoning. Because allowing fascism to take hold is just as unacceptable as practicing it. My message to Chuck Schumer, to every Democrat who voted to censure Al Green, and every Democrat who fails to understand what Trump is and validates him by voting for anything. Wake the fuck up! Wake the fuck up! Who needs enemies when we have friends like these? Yesterday, Chuck Schumer told us that he's going to give Trump permission to destroy our government because Trump would do it anyway under a shutdown. That is the definition of anticipatory obedience. It's also the worst political betrayal in American history. The Democrats are capitulating without calling for a single protest or strike. They're losing without even trying. An entire branch of their power is being left unused. So hear us, Democrats. When your nation needs you to stand strong, you're submitting. Your cowardice will forever be your legacy. Shame on you! We will never stop fighting for a country where justice matters, where no one is above the law, where leaders serve the people, not themselves, where democracy is not a slogan, but a reality. We are fighting for our country that our children can be proud of. And I promise you this, Donald Trump will not win. He can gut our government. He can stack the courts with loyalists. He can use every dirty trick, every act of violence, every abuse of power available to him. But he will not win. Because we are stronger than him. We are stronger than his staff. And we are stronger than his billionaire enablers. And if they think we will back down, if they think we will get tired, if they think we will ever accept a world where Donald Trump is our dictator, they have no idea who they're up against. We are the American people. This is our country. And we will never allow them to steal it from us. So will you all please stand the fuck up? Thank you very much.
All right, what a powerful speech, guys. Go back and you get that guy's name. We have over 6,000 people watching. If you are new here, subscribe now. Don't forget, smash the like button, share this live stream. We got more speakers.
That's the energy we need in this country right now. And to our Democratic members of Congress, if you cannot show a backbone, sit down and get somebody come in there who can. I am honored and excited to introduce our next guest. I'm actually personally a fan of this fella. He he was a Capitol police officer during January 6th. He's politically involved all over the country, traveling around, speaking and supporting people that need support. And he is the co-host of an awesome podcast that I listen to every week called Clean Up on Aisle 45. Please give it up for my new friend, the amazing Harry Dunn. Thank you. Wow. Wow, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, y'all. Appreciate it. Really, thank you so much. What a speech that we just heard. My goodness. How the hell do I follow that? Can I just talk to y'all for a moment? I'm gonna be very honest with you all. When I drove into DC, I drove here. Crazy, right? Who drives in? When I drove in, I saw a lot of you all walking here to the rally points. Signs, flags, cargo pants, military gear, proud wearing it. I had a fucking PTSD attack on the way in. You're laughing. I'm dead fucking serious. The last time I saw everybody like this, they were beating the shit out of me and my co-workers at the Capitol. Fuck Trump. I tell you what, traitors. However, Donald Trump has referred to January 6th as the day of love. Hold on. This right here is love. I feel this. I love you all. And you all give me a little bit of whatever the hell I got inside of me that makes me want to keep going and not stop. So this is what a day of love looks like. Not what happened on January 6th. I'm not a veteran. I served my country in that building for the last 16 years. So I said to myself, this is a veterans event. I'm not going to speak. I just want to be here in solidarity. I just want to support you all. The veterans are the backbone of this country. You all are. And look what Donald Trump is doing to you all, to us. You all make this possible. And listen, I've been called hero. I've got numerous awards. Y'all chanted Harry. Listen, I appreciate all of that shit. I would trade in every award, every service medal I got for y'all to not know who the fuck I am. But you do know who I am. And what we need right now is a lot of people, a lot of somebodies to do something to save our country. I'm encouraged when I see this. It's encouraging. Our institutions have failed us. Congress, they impeached Donald Trump. The Senate failed to convict him. That institution failed. Okay. Yeah, great. Thank you, McConnell. Fucking. Okay. The courts are going to hold him accountable. They ruled that he's immune now. Well, fuck, the courts failed us. Damn. Is there anybody else that can save us? Yeah. Hold on. November 5th, we had an opportunity. And you know what? We fucked it up. People sat at home. People got complacent.
They cheated.
Maybe. People got complacent. People, you know what? America failed me. If I could be honest, America failed me. We had the opportunity. This ain't about tariffs. This ain't about policy and gender. This is about what's fucking right and what's fucking wrong. I can debate. I can have conversations with people who believe tariffs are a good thing. I can have conversations, but I can't have a conversation with anybody who believes Donald Trump sent a mob on his watch to the Capitol to commit an insurrection. They said it wasn't an insurrection. Okay. Listen, I like to be very factual. What's the definition of insurrection? Anybody know? A violent uprising against the government. That's exactly what happened on January 6th. So how fitting on 3/14, we are here gathered. And there's a clause in the Constitution somewhere, 14.3, to remove Donald Trump. Let's get some people with some backbone to stand up and let's get that done. Listen, I just wanted to come out here and just thank you all and just stand with y'all in solidarity and unity, because I stand with you all just like you all stand with me. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. It means so much to me. And I'm truly honored to be here. Thank you, y'all. Keep fighting, y'all.
Keep it going for Harry John, everybody. Let him hear it. Let him know you appreciate it. I just want to add something to what Harry said. On that day, on January 6th, this coward, draft-dodging, bone spurs, orange-faced traitor in our White House begged, and demanded that Capitol Police remove the magnometers. They weren't armed because they couldn't be. Some of them still were. He wanted those mags removed so that they could get in there with their guns. That's what he wanted. That's what he tried for. Don't ever forget that. I know. Donald Trump is a traitor that needs to be removed from office now. I am honored to bring up this next speaker and our honor guard. Make some noise, those of you who are here because of Sons of Liberty. If you're not familiar with Sons of Liberty, it is a progressive group of veterans with a big online presence. They're amazing people. They're here today with our honor guard, and this is the administrator of Sons of Liberty, my new friend, Big Sarge.
What's up, fam of Liberty and everybody else? Some of you know me, some of you don't. I'm not going to talk for very long because the speakers that have been up here already have said pretty much what I wanted to say. I had a speech. I can't remember shit anyway, so fuck it. I said I wasn't going to swear. So I'm going to try to keep the profanity to a minimum. I'm here because I'm a veteran. I'm here because I love my country. I'm here because I love all of you, even though I don't know you. And you don't know me. Maybe you do. Maybe you saw me on a video talking about Velveeta Voldemort and his buddy Vladimir Futon, the couch fucker. Maybe you heard me call Elon Musk Elon Muscolini. That's right. How many of you in this crowd are veterans? Yeah! How many of you in this crowd go to the VA? Yeah, how many of you in this crowd have PTSD? I do. I want to apologize to Officer Dunn for giving him PTSD because we all look like the people from the January 6th insurrection.
We look better. We look better.
I started Sons of Liberty deliberately using the name and the colors, the chopped up join or die snake, specifically because a bunch of guys that I served with in 2015 decided liberals aren't patriots. They said liberals hate their countries. I heard that from civilians too. If I'm not a patriot, why the fuck did I serve and you didn't? Now they're tearing down the VA. They want to privatize it so these billionaires can make money off of you. We don't want to privatize the VA. We don't want you to destroy the VA. Stop firing people from the VA. Honor the social contract that exists with the nation's warriors. We who have borne the battle. That's the motto, the mission statement of the VA. It came from Abraham Lincoln. Guy was a Republican. Republicans like to claim Abraham Lincoln as one of their own. They don't act like it.
He would spit on him.
He would spit on him.
I'm going to wrap things up because I'm starting to get a little emotional and I don't want to cry in front of all of you. I got an image to maintain. How can you serve your country? Get involved in politics, whether you are calling your congressperson, your representatives, your senators, call the people at the local level. Go out and vote. If they're not representing you, primary them. Primary Chuck Schumer.
Get rid of that suck ass.
These people do not give a fuck about you. If they did, we wouldn't be in this mess.
You say it, Big Sword.
These guys don't give a fuck about you, so nobody is coming to save you but you. If you're a civilian and you never served, that's fine. Guess what? You can still serve. You don't have to swear an oath. You can honor that oath. Take the freedoms that are afforded to you by the men and women who gave their lives for this country. Call your elected representatives. Write them letters. I don't care if you photocopy a thing that you typed out. You still did it. Send it to them. Do this every day. Go to their offices. Demand an audience with the people who say they represent you. If they don't represent you, primary them. Vote them out of office. Find people who do. There's no such thing as a perfect candidate. But there are people who care about this country, who are not beholden to Donald Trump, an illegitimate vice president who doesn't need to be in office. We all swore an oath to defend the Constitution. That Constitution includes Amendment 14, Section 3. the insurrectionist clause. It doesn't just include traitors. It includes aiding traitors, such as, oh, I don't know, pardoning January 6th insurrectionist traitors. So fuck Vice President Donald Trump. Yes, I said Vice President. Because we all know who the shadow president wants to be.
A Nazi! A Nazi! He's a Nazi!
So fuck Trump. Thank all of you for coming out here to show your support. Maybe I forgot not to swear. Sorry. That's my time for today. If you follow my channel, 2 claps and a rag. Woo!
Let him hear it, everybody! I was talking to Jessica Denson. Give her a round of applause. Jessica and I were on a YouTube Live with Tim, with Big Sarge on the Sons of Liberty channel. And we were talking about what needs to happen. The conversation was, what needs to happen? What can people do? What do people need to see? And Jessica was talking about planning this protest on March 14th, 3/14, to further the discussion about 14-3. A little play on numbers, if you will. And then I talked about what I thought needed to happen, and that was sort of a 4-part thing. First thing I said is, the American people need to see United States veterans standing up against fascism. The American people need to know that tough, brave veterans do not support fascism. People on the left need to see it so that they know that they're not alone. They need to be energized and invigorated. People on the right need to see it so they can be awakened and sobered. That they do not have a monopoly on service or veterans or patriotism. And these fascists in power needed to see it so that they know whatever it is that you think you're about to do to us is going to be a lot fucking harder than you think it is. So we decided to make this day a march, the 14-3 protest and the veterans protest, and here we are. I put out a call to volunteers asking if you could please send veteran videos. I got another volunteer to make the video. Everything I've done is with volunteers. The DonaldLovesVladimir.com website, volunteer. A lot of the info for that website, compiled by volunteers. These mobile billboard trucks rolling around with that website on them, money from volunteers. I'm not doing it by myself. I'm doing it with you. I couldn't do literally any of it without you. So now we're going to show the video that we were able to make from the submissions that you sent us in, and the kind volunteer, Ian Gagnon, who made the video for us. Please check out the screen. Gonzo!
My name is Gwen Furman. I am not a veteran myself. Instead, I am here to speak to you today on behalf of a veteran who is no longer with us. His name was Sergeant Denville Dale Adams, but to me, he was just known as Grandpa Dale. He served in World War II with the 82nd Field Artillery 1st Cavalry Division from 1938 until 1944, but it is what he did when he came home that matters most today. He was National Adjutant of the Disabled American Veterans, also known as the DAV, from 1962 until 1988. And during his time as leader of that organization, he fought tirelessly for the rights of veterans, regardless of their gender or skin color, and regardless of what theater they served in. Thanks to his leadership, PTSD and Agent Orange victims are able to receive treatment at the VA today. And thanks to his leadership, the VA exists as a cabinet-level agency. He has many accomplishments, but they're too numerous to list here. But what I am here to do is tell you that the Trump regime is tearing down everything that he built. Veterans are being fired from their federal jobs, their health care is being taken away, and their health care providers are being fired en masse. This is an outrageous overstep of executive power, and it is just one of the many reasons why we are tumbling ass over tea kettle into fascism. I am here to give you my solemn vow as a disabled civilian activist that I will refuse to allow Grandpa Dale's legacy to be destroyed. I will continue to fight for the freedom, dignity, healthcare, and rights of everyone in America, veteran or civilian, regardless of skin color, religion, gender, orientation, disability, or creed. And I ask you to join me. Don't let what my grandfather did go to waste.
My name is Jay Ryan. I'm a veteran from the United States Army. I served in 1985, 1988 at Fort Polk, and I also served in support of Desert Storm. I served in the country, Iraq, and Saudi Arabia, 1991. I also am a DOD civilian, 20 years of service. I'm retired now. But I set an oath to defend the Constitution of the United States, and I intend to fulfill that oath. I'm deeply disappointed as to where we are today. Our country's always stood for freedom, always stood for justice, has always stood for equal opportunity. That's not where we're heading.
Hello, Sons of Liberty. My name is Anthony, and I served 2 years stateside in the U.S. Army from 2010 to 2012 at Joint Base Lewis McChord. I hate Donald Trump because of everything that he stands for, and the fact that he is ruining this once great country that I know and love. Thank you.
Rob Bresson, Corporal, United States Marine Corps. I'm against this administration because their policies go against my fundamental beliefs as a veteran and an American. I'm for inclusion, not exclusion. I'm for love, not hate.
I believe our strength comes from our diversity and our ability to learn from each other. I believe in actually protecting our children. I'm a gun owner that believes in responsible gun control laws. I believe in collaboration over authoritarianism. Most of all, I believe in unity, not division.
I am Brian Sargis, retired Coast Guard Marine Science Technician, and I also served in the Navy in Europe, Central America, our territories in California and Alaska. I opposed treason for obvious reasons. It destroys our country, as well as fascism.
I am retired Master Sergeant Chad Rogers. I served in the United States Air Force from 1992 to 2013. I swore an oath to support and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. I will not sit idly by while this administration cozies up to a dictator and treats Russia like an ally under the guise of peace treaty. I will not sit idly by while this administration erases the history of my brothers and sisters in arms under the guise of DEI removal. I will not sit idly by while this administration guts the VA and keeps needed care and treatment for myself and fellow veterans under the guise of government efficiency. I will not sit idly by, and neither should you.
Hello, my name is Jeff Raybuck. I served in the U.S. Army for 20 years, retired. I also was a public school teacher for 18 years, served as an air defense artilleryman, and the reason that I am upset is because I don't like fascism, I don't like what Trump is doing to our country, and I don't believe we deserve a king. Trump also has zero qualities that I admire.
My name is Charles Allen from South Carolina. I'm a retired U.S. Air Force veteran. I was a Russian linguist in the U.S. Air Force and then a government contractor after I retired in 2018. I am currently overseas with an effort to help Ukraine. That has now stopped because of what is going on in our government. Russia has infiltrated our government. There is no lie. It's blatant and it's right in front of our face. It's following what Putin did in Russia, and now it's happening in the U.S., which I never thought I'd see. I wish you the best. I will donate everything I can to help your effort. Thank you for being a patriot and taking this on. God bless.
United States Air Force veteran here. I served in Saudi Arabia and Anchorage, Alaska. The reason I am anti-Trump and anti-fascist is because most of my peacetime service was spent monitoring Russian aggression. I spent countless hours in toxic megahertz frequencies in the FLR9 that eventually gave me cancer, which I beat. But here we are with the president who is now up Putin's ass. And what was my service even for?
My name is Richard Van Horn, Staff Sergeant, United States Army. I served from 03 to 2012. During that time, I did 3 tours to Iraq. I did not go over there to fight a dictator to come home and have my rights stripped away by one. I'm absolutely against everything Trump stands for.
I served in the Army from 2008 to 2012 and was deployed to Afghanistan. I'm tired of these GOP traitors, cowards, liars, and thieves pretending they care about veterans even as they cut all of our programs. And I did not put on a uniform to have some Russia-friendly politicians dismantle our country.
I'm former Army Staff Sergeant Tim Greenwood, and I'm going to march in D.C. on the 14th for this guy, PFC Marvin Cohen. He was in the Army. He marched across Africa, Italy, and Germany and helped liberate camps. He fought fascism so that we wouldn't have to. I'm going to step up, and I hope you step up too.
I'm just a high school dropout who ran off in 1965 to join the Army. As a medic in Germany, eventually awarded a direct commission in the Air Force. That Russian asset in the White House is wrecking the government and carrying out his pledge to destroy the Constitution. Ain't gonna happen. Our nation's on the verge of rebellion right now. It will be bloodless. We'll see.
I'm Rick White Cotton. I served in the Navy. I entered in 1978 and I exited in 1988. And I was on a submarine. This is a picture of me and my mates on a submarine in my division, the Reactor Control Division. And I tell you, I'm really opposed to all of these things that are going on right now. It's, number one, it's chaotic. It doesn't make any sense. These things are already allocated by law, by Congress. I'm completely opposed to just somebody as a civilian just saying, no, we're just not going to do that. The second is veterans are being hurt far more with these reductions in force and these firings, these indiscriminate firings that are going on across the whole government right now. And the Veterans Affairs Department and the disabled veterans, they're being hurt worst of all. So their own department's hurt, and the people that work there, many of them are veterans, they're being hurt, and it's going to demolish us.
Specialist Seychelles, U.S. Army Reserves. I'm here standing against fascism, Nazis, domestic terrorists, and the 1%. I stand for justice and upholding the Constitution.
Let me tell you what leadership is. Leadership is taking care of your people. Leadership is making sure no one gets left behind. And the leadership we have right now in the White House and in Congress is not leadership at all. They don't know what a fucking leader is. So on March 14th, this combat vet served in Iraq, and now I'm going to Washington, D.C. with other vets.
Second class petty officer, U.S. Navy, United States.
Don't forget, guys, smash that like button, share
Donald
this
Trump,
live stream.
this is a message for you.
There's a few more
Quit
speakers.
kissing Putin's ass.
I'm going to get to some
You are
interviews
a
after.
pathetic, disgraceful
But also, if you are new to
excuse for a
Status
president,
Quo, make
and
sure you
don't
subscribe.
belong there. J.D. Vance,
We are
you
the
don't
most
belong there
consistent,
either.
independent outlet on the
Eyeliner-wearing
ground,
little
covering
bitch.
protests all over the country
As for you,
and other
Elon
stories
Musk,
that are
you need to take
ignored
a fucking
by the
hike.
mainstream media.
You have no business in the goddamn White House at all. You haven't done shit for this country.
and you never will. You're just a rich prick that come from South Africa. Get out of my country.
And I want to say, I know we've said it a lot, I just want to say again, thank you to all the veterans that are here.
Yeah, by the way, there are thousands of people
my
out here
idea
today.
of having that
I know you
video
can't see
made,
so well,
getting people
I'll
to
get to it.
help make that video, and getting you guys to send in your submission to make it, I don't want it to be the only one. I want to make 100 more of those with 10 veterans on each one. So if you'll keep in touch with me through social media, I'm Cliff Cash Comedy on all social media. I'm going to be putting out calls to actions for you to be able to submit 1 minute or less videos, and we'll keep compiling 10 veterans at a time into videos like that. And we will bombard social media with those videos on every platform until it sinks into the heads of simple people that worshiping a con man and simping for Russia doesn't make you a patriot, and it doesn't make you tough. Now I'm honored to bring up the brains behind NowMarch.org and the 14th Now movement. My co-organizer, she is the founder of 14th Now, the host of Lights On. Many of you might not know this, but she's actually a former Trump aide who was the first woman to beat Trump in court in his first term. She started in 2017 without a lawyer and was able to beat Trump in court. They ended invalidating all his illegal 2016 campaign NDAs. She's also the host of Lights On with Jessica Denson on YouTube. Give it up for my friend, Jessica Denson.
How great is Cliff Cash, huh? So you might have heard of a piece recently in The Atlantic by historian Timothy Ryback. It's called How Hitler Dismantled a Democracy in 53 Days. It's day 53 of the illegal Trump presidency. But don't fret, because we, the people, are going to dismantle the Trump administration. You know, there's been so much talk today about love and fear. And that really is the opposite of love, isn't it? It's not hate, it's fear. It's fear. I remember Jane Fonda said that not too long ago. I think she was on Jimmy Kimmel or something, and I appreciated her so much a couple weeks ago when she was at the SAG Awards accepting a Lifetime Achievement Award. Brave activist, artist who has been in so many crowds like this for so many years. She knows what this fight is about. And she talked about John Lewis crossing the Edmund Pettus Bridge, being willing to be beat to death for equality and justice. And she said, you remember those images and those documentaries? Well, this is your documentary moment. This is our documentary moment, and we're not going to let democracy die on our watch. We're not going to let squatter in the White House, Mr. Krasnov Bone Spurs, overrule the sacrifice of all of you for our Constitution. A Constitution that empowers we, the people. Those fearful cowards in that building behind us don't hold the power. We do. So, hate and fear versus love. I just feel like this is really a theme, because it's really, this cowardice is just so gross, isn't it? Isn't it gross? Isn't it an insult to all of our sacrifices, our love for this country? You know, when I was 5 years old, I think I had an assignment during Black History Month to give a speech where I was Marian Anderson. Beautiful, beautiful singer who overcame the racism of the daughters of the American Revolution, right? Somebody's going to check me on this. And ended up singing at the other end of this mall. Beautiful, beautiful. She wasn't outspoken about the justice struggle, but just being there and overcoming that inequality, that racism, was such a powerful statement. And I had this opportunity as a 5-year-old to be Marian Anderson on stage. I was really, really sick that day. But I wanted to do it anyway. I'm like, I'm doing it anyway. There's no way I'm not going to go be Marian Anderson. And I came away from that as a 5-year-old. I don't know what it was, but I came away from that knowing that I had to do something to change this world. And I've known it since then. And I also came away from it knowing that I could never do it from the fucking inside, excuse my language. I wanted to do it from the outside. And we have the power on the outside. That Constitution empowers us. One thing Marian Anderson said, my theme here of childhood and children, she said, hate and fear are two things which babies are not born with. And you know, a lot of people in that building behind us, most of them, Republicans and Democrats, took an oath with their hand on a Bible. Bible that says so many things that those people violate every single day. One of them says, become as a little child. Come as a little child. I was thinking about that, and I was thinking, you know what? A little child can see how screwed up this picture is. A little child can see that someone who leads an army to beat law enforcement cannot be the chief law enforcement officer of the country. A little child can see that someone who cheats on their mommy with an adult film star cannot be a representative of Christianity. A little child can see that a felon cannot be a president. A little child can see that you don't go out day after day after day and just make up lies out of thin air. A little child knows decency and kindness. A little child doesn't judge our neighbors because of their skin color or their race or their religion or their gender. We need to become as a little child again. So I have a lot of criticism for everybody in that house behind us right now. Every single one, because as we told you earlier, every single one of them abandoned this whole country on January 6th when they had a legal mechanism to stop this insanity. They had the tool. In the name of a peaceful transfer of power, they allowed the man who violated the peaceful transfer of power to enter the White House. What the hell? What the hell? You know what? I've said this kind of a little bit low-key on my show before. I'm going to say it really boldly now. I know the private correspondence that were sent from members of this body, ones that you think are the most ardent defenders of the Constitution, for not rejecting Trump's certification based on Section 3. And you know what those defenses were? They weren't that there wasn't a legal right to do it or a constitutional obligation, but their defense was that they were getting death threats. Death threats. With all the security that these people have, they put themselves into public service. They have to be willing to stand up for the Constitution. Capitulating to violence? That's just giving it up from the beginning. And we're all so peaceful here, so beautifully laying down the line and saying, this is what legally needs to be done. You need to adhere to this Constitution or get this man out of here now. But if that doesn't happen, and we're not promoting it for 1 second, but if that doesn't happen, there will be violence. And these people had the opportunity to stop it. And they didn't. They are. They're cowards, every single one of them. But I was talking about the Bible. I believe in redemption. I really do. I really do. You've heard today about some ways that they can still use Section 3. It is not dead letter. We're going to hear a little bit more about it in a few minutes. They could impeach him. They could be calling for impeachment every single day of the week. This is what authoritarians do. They try to throw so much shit at the fan that you just can't keep track of it. And it's just every day, oh my God, another thing. And you just, oh, we can't possibly do anything. Every single day, he commits multiple impeachable offenses. That is all that the Democrats should be talking about, is getting him out of office. So in line with redemption, and I'll tell you, there was one congressperson who was invited to speak today. Can you guess who it was? One. Al Green. Representative Al Green is the only one who is doing what is necessary in this moment. Every single member of the Democratic caucus should be standing with Al Green and his articles of impeachment. So Fox News tries to create their own narrative, right? When Democrats start to do something. And Democrats are afraid of the narrative that Fox News is going to create if we go after Donald Trump. They're going to create the narrative anyway. Do the right thing. So these representatives, like Chuck Schumer today. What the hell, Chuck Schumer? I mentioned that article, the book from Timothy Ryback, Hitler's Final Rise to Power. You know what it talks about? It talks about those 53 days. And those were the 53 days that it took to get the Enabling Act, which turned Hitler into a dictator. And he didn't just get there with the fringe. Just like Donald Trump doesn't just get there with MAGA. No, MAGA's like this.
He's a former former policy advisor for the U.S. Secretary of Veterans Affairs. He's also a Rolling Stone contributor, and he's also a Navy veteran. Give it up for Michael Embrick.
Now, I drove down from Bayonne, New Jersey, and I told I was coming to a rally, so let's hear it. Our republic, has not been in this much peril internally since the War of 1861. The Citizens United ruling has jeopardized our democracy. Now we have our very own oligarchs who answer to no one. Down from 22 a day. The PACT Act and cancer research is being canceled. Their funding's being canceled while veterans die of toxic exposure and cancers. 8 million veterans are on Social Security, and they want to gut that too. One in 10 veterans gets Medicare, and we all know what they want to do with Medicare. They want to take it, recycle it in some way, and give Elon Musk more government contracts. The VA announced last week they want to fire over 80,000 employees, which would essentially gut America's only public health care system, and frankly, the only health care system in America that actually works for our veterans. The job cuts are going to destroy the lives of veterans, their livelihoods. They're going to lose their houses, they're going to lose their cars, their families, just so Elon Musk can become the first trillionaire in the world. There's something very wrong in America today, my friends. And we can't wait till 2028 because Trump isn't leaving office. Hell, we can't wait till 2026. The time is now. We need action today. Every veteran here thought our service was over after the wars of 9/11. We settled down. We found our forever person. We started a family. We got good government jobs. We rode off into the sunset. And they are taking that from us. Billionaires, think about that. Men who have done nothing, have earned nothing, have sacrificed nothing. They are taking it from us. I gotta tell you, they're really fucking with my pursuit of happiness. But I won't take it, and I know you won't. Let's tell them with one voice, on this day, in this moment, that we will not wait. We will not falter, and we will not abandon our oaths to our Constitution. Thank you.
Hear it, everybody. Let him hear it. I'd like to ask something of you. I'd like to ask you, for office. Yeah, you. Yeah, I know. It's scary. Don't point at me either. I got too many skeletons in the closet. I don't have the decorum it takes to not insult Marjorie Taylor Greene to her face every day. But let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. If you think that they are some other echelon of people, they're not. Lauren Boebert is not smarter than you. She's not more qualified than you. Mitch McConnell's sure not more courageous than you. Right? Everybody talks about Mitch McConnell's neck, but yours would look like that too if you didn't have a spine. I want to encourage you to do all you can, including running for office. And speaking of doing all you can, I am so honored to bring up our next speaker, a person who has literally dedicated her life to peace and dedicated her life to advocating for veterans and dedicated her life to the organization of Veterans for Peace. She is a proud former Navy nurse and was court-martialed during the Vietnam War for her anti-war protests. Please give a very warm welcome to the incredible Susan Schnoll.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Hey guys, if you remember Anne, the woman I interviewed a couple of days ago in New York City, she's all the way on the left there.
I've asked other members of Veterans for Peace to come up and join me and have you all understand that there are veterans in this country that stand for peace and social justice for all. We are an organization of former soldiers and veterans of the U.S. wars in Korea, Vietnam, Iraq, Afghanistan, and various other military interventions who oppose militarism and war. We use our experience and lift our collective voice to build a culture of peace. We inform the public of the true causes and enormous costs of war and highlight our obligation to heal the wounds of war. It is an honor for me to be part of an extraordinary and special group of people, those GIs and veterans who returned from war and armed conflict to work for peace and social justice in this country. For them, it's been a wrenching, painful journey from war maker to peacemaker, to be able to question both themselves and their country that participated in armed conflict. Those once young American soldiers live with the memory of what they were involved with so many years ago. In 1967, and that was a while ago, I graduated from Stanford University wearing a black armband signifying my objection to the American war in Vietnam. I had joined the Navy Nurse Corps to care for the wounded from the war, and I learned that simply healing the soldiers might be enough, that being a part of the military war machine enabled the war to continue. Bear with me. Trump and company, we are those you have called suckers and losers who served this country in this military. We are the soldiers who served in Vietnam, Afghanistan, Iraq that lost over 65,000 lives, who returned home with illnesses and disabilities related to war, to Agent Orange, to burn pits, to post-traumatic stress that affected not only our lives, but those of our families, our children, and our community. We are not your crony oligarchs who got out of service because they had bone spurs or some other made-up condition, and wealthy parents that got them out of the service. We will not be erased. We served this country. Veterans make up 1/3 of the employees in the United States Department of Veteran Affairs and is facing a cut of 17% of its workforce. It is deplorable. This is creating chaos with a delay in benefits, straining claims and processing, delaying school assistance for student veterans. Delay in benefits under the congressional recently passed PACT Act that is finally recognizing the victims of burn pits in Afghanistan. It was a promise to address the Comprehensive Toxins Act, and we are now experiencing a delay. The United States Department of Veteran Affairs is the second largest agency after the Defense Department. And I would say that any time a country decides to send its people to war, it has the obligation to prepare for those who return from war. Federal law requires that veterans be given an advantage over people who have not served, and to retain veterans over other employees during layoffs, to acknowledge the government's obligation to veterans. Is that happening today? We served, and now you want to take away our needed services to feed your friends, to give them the most wealthy tax breaks at our expense. Whose interests are you all serving besides your own? We are all immigrants, except for the native people whose land we stole, whose cultures we have tried to decimate, whose healthcare services, education, housing, social services from the United States government have continued to decrease in quality over the years. And Trump, you too are an immigrant. Even though your grandfather immigrated in 1885. And let me remind you, immigrants are human beings. They're not aliens. And certainly not illegal aliens, as you and your cronies call them. Your stories equating immigrants with danger and criminality are not new. This happens after surges in immigration by new groups. The Irish, Catholic, Jewish, Italian, Mexican, Japanese, Chinese, and German people were often followed by backlashes linking them with crime and disorder. This centuries-old fable is aimed at boosting a politics of exclusion, not one seriously concerned with the true causes of crime. Narratives equating immigrants with danger and criminality are nothing new. And a reminder to all of you, immigrants pay taxes. They pay taxes. That information is contained in the files of the Internal Revenue Service database. That is why they and Musk and Trump want to get access to those files so they can then find out the new immigrants and try to deport them. And unlike you, Mr. President, these people pay taxes. They work in construction, agriculture, senior care, hospitality. What will you do when they're gone? The United States military has assisted in more than a dozen military deportation flights to Guatemala, Honduras, Panama, Ecuador, Peru, and India. And this administration has also flown Venezuelan migrants to the U.S. Naval Base in Guantanamo Bay. They said late in January that the administration would prepare to detain up to 30 migrants there. And a reminder to everybody, 30,000, yes. Private prisons are crashing in as part of the administration's plan to hold undocumented immigrants. Concentration camp. At a rally in Iowa on October 16, 2023, He declared, quote, "In the wake of the attacks on Israel, Americans have been disgusted to see the open support for terrorists among legions of foreign nationals on college campuses." Quote, "They're teaching your children hate." No, Mr. Trump, we're teaching our children to love. To stop the killing, to stop the genocide on the people of Gaza. To stop the destruction of the land, of all living things, because we choose to love and not hate. You and your supplicants are the ones teaching, preaching hate, not those working for peace. You try to label the protesters of genocide on college campuses as threats to American foreign policy. Well, Mr. President, I disagree with your foreign policy in Gaza. Let me go further. I am a Jew opposed to your foreign policy in Gaza. Are you going to label me as anti-Semitic and try to deport me too? Like Mohammed Khalil, who was kidnapped from Columbia University housing, arrested, and is held in a Louisiana detention facility. Because his presence in the United States is adversarial to this country's foreign policy and national security interests. Let me be clear. Genocide, the supplying of armaments to a country that is committing genocide, is against the interests of this country. You are adversarial to the American people. You and the arms makers are adversarial to national security interests of this country. You are committing war crimes. You support Israel as it unleashes hell and destruction on the people in Gaza with total impunity. Israel has carried out acts prohibited under the Genocide Convention with a specific intent to destroy Palestinians. These include killings, causing serious bodily harm or mental harm, and deliberately inflicting on Palestinians in Gaza conditions of life calculated to bring about their destruction. Month after month, Israel has treated Palestinians and Gaza as a subhuman group, unworthy of human rights and dignity. Last year, in February of 2024, Veterans for Peace wrote to Secretary of State Anthony Blinken about the violations of the Geneva Genocide Convention and national law, drawing the connection between shipments of weapons to Israel and the committing of genocide against the people in Gaza. And 1 year ago, on February 25th, Aaron Bushnell, an active duty airman, spoke, quote, "I am an active duty member of the United States Air Force, and I will no longer be complicit in genocide. I am about to engage in an extreme act of protest, but compared to what people have been experiencing in Palestine at the hands of their colonizers, it's not extreme at all. This is what our ruling class has decided will be normal. Free Palestine.
Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine!
And at that moment, he doused his body in gasoline and set himself on fire. Too many of us in Veterans of Peace have seen the suffering war creates, and it never leaves our memories.
No, it doesn't.
All of us agonize over our government's aiding and abetting the slaughtering of innocents. These policymakers, swaddled in privilege, take their orders from those who profit from death and suffering. We know who they are. The people who run Boeing, Raytheon, General Dynamics, and their fellow merchants of death, and the people who finance what the merchants do. They operate on a grand scale internationally, but also on a singular small scale. They as much as lit the match for Aaron Bushnell. The fire that killed Alan Bushnell was simply the collateral damage, as it's so callously called, of the ongoing conflagration in Palestine. Hey, America, listen to us. We were the soldiers you sent to Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, Iraq, Afghanistan, Okinawa, Japan, Korea, Niger, Syria. Through television and social media, we are witness to the antipathy and ignorance of the American public as wars rage at home toward those in poor communities and people of color. We are incited by news organizations that constantly blast accounts of the war on Gaza and in Ukraine and the Middle East as though we're watching a football game, leading the cheering section of revelers. Let me tell you, as a veteran who cared for soldiers during the American war in Southeast Asia, war injures all who participate. It kills the body and soul. It damages communities and families. It impacts generations. And who profits? The war industry, the merchants of death that produce and distribute armaments. It drains our social resources that are life-sustaining, our education, healthcare, social services, housing, and uses those resources for death and destruction. And most of us continue to go on with our lives, overwhelmed by the enormity of the challenges facing us. We who know the truth have a responsibility to share it with others, to organize, to lead the way toward a sustainable future. War and militarism are destroying the planet.
So is Trump.
Hey, America, wake up and listen to me.
Wake up.
We are at war in this country, on this land. We are killing our children. We have become the monster in the world that produces more armaments, more battleships, more drones that annihilate whole communities with the push of a button. We destroy our young. We kill school children with impunity. We poison our water and food supply. We send our military might all over the world and use it against people of color here. America, what have we become? How did we become immune to the dead children in Texas and Georgia, Chicago, and Parkland, killed by gun violence? How did we become immune to school children killed by guns produced in America, by gunmen produced in America? We export our military violence to the highest bidder, and today, that is Israel. America, we supply the arms used to the Palestinian children in Gaza. We starve the children in Gaza as we starve children in other parts of the world. We look for wars as outlets for our munitions industry. We perpetuate violence in the Middle East. We starve, imprison, attack civilians in Gaza. Let me be clear. Veterans for Peace opposes all targeting of civilians. We denounce the Hamas attacks on civilians and children as we denounce the Israeli attacks on Gaza. Our government uses our tax dollars to inflame the struggle and fighting in the Middle East and in Ukraine. Without the continuation and the start of a ceasefire in Ukraine, this war, like all wars, will continue to escalate. We must break the pattern of escalating violence that feeds hatred, escalates violence, creates orphans, and self-replicates indefinitely. It is our tax dollars that have made America the greatest purveyor of violence in the world today. I think of those lives changed forever by war and conflict. And along with millions of others, rededicate myself to healing the wounds of war, to working for peace and social justice, to bringing an end to armed conflict, to move us from a war economy to a peace economy, to care for those harmed, and to stop this insanity called war wherever it is. To end corporate power and destruction, to be life-giving instead of death-giving. For if we, and I know there's a lot of veterans here, if we who have known war don't dedicate ourselves to ending it, who will? Thank you.
Hear it, everybody! Make some noise!
Let's get back to Trump.
Next, we have a video from Evan Bernick. He's a constitutional scholar, author of The Meaning of the 14th Amendment. He explains with Jessica why Section 3 is still in effect. Congress doesn't need to do anything but acknowledge that Trump is disqualified to change the entire national conversation. Without a two-thirds amnesty vote, which they will never get, his presidency remains invalid, and we should start treating it that way. Please enjoy the video.
We're in a peculiar state of affairs, an alarming state of affairs, in which we have an ongoing constitutional violation in the form of the current head of the executive branch. In talking about Section 3 enforcement by Congress, we are not talking, or we shouldn't be talking, as if Congress needs to do something before Section 3 kicks in, and we can say that we have an unconstitutional executive. Instead, the point of raising an amnesty bill is to draw attention to the fact that in order to have an insurrectionist hold any office under the United States, you need a two-thirds majority of Congress to say, yes, we're okay with this. So an amnesty bill isn't about saying that Donald Trump now, in virtue of what Congress has just done, is not constitutionally eligible for the office. It's designed to draw attention to the fact that he is currently violating the Constitution by being in office, and Congress would have to do something in order to change that. Now, realistically, 2/3 majority of Congress, not going to be easy to come by. However, talking about realism, what is it legally possible to do, institutionally possible
But
to
that's
do?
in our favor, just to clarify, because you're not going to get that very high threshold to remove the disqualification.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
So really, failure on any level is a success.
Failure on any levels this is a success because it keeps us talking about the fact that we have an unconstitutional person at the head of the executive branch.
So this is something that the Democrats could be doing right now, and if we can kind of just bring this out of the academic discussion and to real life and what these politicians, these people who seem to be, especially on the Democratic side, so prone to playing by the rules when the other side is just throwing the rule book out the window and setting everything on fire. Can you just give me your sense, both as a constitutional scholar and just as someone who is living as we're literally seeing democracy going up in flames, on what these politicians should be thinking about what's acceptable and what's normal to do right now along these lines?
Right now, the executive branch is not only pushing the boundaries of the legally possible, it is running roughshod over them as quickly and, if we can call it, creatively as it can, as fast as it can.
Maybe deviously, huh?
Yes, deviously, right. If we're not prepared to respond in kind, if we're not prepared to get creative, to do things that at first blush you may think, well, Section 3 enforcement, he's already in office. What are we supposed to do about that? We risk closing ourselves off of a number of options that, yes, they have a low probability of working, but they don't put us in the position of just accepting a continuously lawless state of affairs as normal. Every opportunity we have to say, no, they can't do this. Constitutionally, it is illegitimate for them to do this, that we can think of, we've got to seize on. We've got to take advantage of. Because we know that they are trying on the other side to think of any devious means that they can to legitimize themselves.
Okay, I'm going to bring up our next guest. Guys, I know that we've had a lot of speakers. I know you've been standing for a long time. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for staying for the whole thing. Please stay. We're almost done. We've got a couple more speakers. We're almost done, and we're going to have some really important announcements to make at the end of this, including about tomorrow, about an event later today, tomorrow, and the next day. We're also going to give you some call to action. Okay, I'm going to talk about it. Yep. Thank you for all of your input and coaching me throughout this event. Without you. This mic is questionable. This next guy, I never met him in person until today, despite, coincidentally, growing up in towns literally right beside each other in North Carolina. He's a North Carolina native. He joined the Army at 18 and spent 13 years in military intelligence. He joined social media in 2020. He currently has over 6 million followers across platforms. That's where I know him from, and you probably know him too. Give it up for Jolly Good Ginger.
What's up, DC? What's up, veterans? I'm going to do something before I get started. Let me see if this works. R.I.P. Nipsey. Listen, before I say what I got to say, I'm going to say what needs to be said. Currently, the unqualified, undeserving Fox News host that has the title of Secretary of Defense, he is attempting to erase the history of our armed forces. You see, you understand that there were black, indigenous, and people of color who went to war for this country only to come home to be hated. And they are erasing that right now. They're taking it out of the books. They're taking it out of the museums. You can't do it. The Tuskegee Airmen existed. The Buffalo Soldiers existed. Black soldiers went to World War II and came home to no GI Bill. These same soldiers drafted in Vietnam and came home to no home, only hate. We are American history. The veterans of this country and the people that fight beside us, no matter their race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, identification, every single one of them have more patriotism in their fucking pinky than that goddamn draft dodger Trump. How dare he sit in that Oval Office and delegitimize veterans of this country, fire employees of the Veterans Affairs, take away the things we have fought for. Speaking of fighting, when my country called me and said, go to Iraq, Jolly, I went. When my country called me and said, go to Afghanistan, Jolly, I went. Well, now my country's called me to come to Washington, and fuck it, I'm here. If you think that it's going to be as easy as they think it was going to be, sorry, you're wrong. We come with demands. Let me list them for you. Right now, in the building behind me, in the Senate chamber, there is a vote for cloture happening right now. Demand number one, Senate Democrats, get your head out of your ass. Senator Chuck Schumer, I'm talking to you. Vote no on cloture, or we will do what we do best, and we will rally the troops to make sure you never see a re-election. You will not win a seat in this Senate, in this Congress, without the support of these veterans. Vote no on cloture now. Demand number two. Currently, there is an unelected South African billionaire running amok in our capital. My instructions for this is clear. Get his ass out. He needs to go now, not yesterday, and tomorrow's too fucking late. What does he know about efficiency? What does he know about patriotism? What does he know about government? He only knows what's in his best interest. How dare we allow this? Get him out. Demand number three. This is our final demand. House Democrats, you have what you need. Trump has done enough. Impeach him now. You cannot pass executive orders that are in direct violation of our Constitution. You can't take an oath to the same Constitution that you wipe your ass with. You cannot come in and day out and ignore the courts, ignore the legislative branch, ignore the checks and balances. You cannot call yourself the law as he has done. This is grounds for impeachment. House Democrats, that's your sign. Impeach him now. Do your job. Lastly, the last thing I want to say is to the people standing here today, especially the veterans of this country, the families of veterans of this country, those who support the veterans of this country. People say to me all the time, Jolly, what do we do? Organize. That's what I'm going to tell you now. Leave here. As I came in today, a lot of people come and said hi to me. By the way, I appreciate you, love you, thank you for the support. I asked them, where'd you come in from? Colorado, New York, Washington, Connecticut, Vermont, from sea to shining sea. So that means when you leave here, you will go back home to Connecticut, Vermont, New York, Colorado, California. When you get there, organize. When you get there, organize. We, the people, have more power than the people in power. But if we don't organize, it means nothing. I was talking to Senator Booker last week, and he said something. He said something I agree with. He said if you look back to all the movements in this history of our country, civil rights movements, women's suffrage movements, all right, all the movements throughout time, we can list them all. It all involved people in the street. It all involved a mass organization of people. And I know that everybody's waiting on somebody to do it. Here's your sign. That wasn't loud enough. Here's your sign. So I want to close out on this. If you're a veteran in this group, I want you to join me when I say this. I state your name. Do hereby solemnly swear. Or affirm. Or affirm. To defend the Constitution of the United States of America. Against all enemies. Foreign. Go ahead. Love you guys.
The people united can never be defeated. 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 I said it at the beginning of the day, and I want to say it again. By yourself, you are a drop of water. Together, we are a flood. And flood is what we gotta do. I'm pleased and honored to introduce this next veteran. Please make some noise for the Honorable Jesus Manuel Valenzuela.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here today. I've been traveling all over the United States. I have an RV which is parked right there, and I call it the RV of justice. In 2008, my brother came over to my house and I asked him, middle of 2008, hey, have you got your VA benefits? He said, no. Come on, man. I took him to the VA hospital and we signed up for benefits. We both were in Vietnam. He was there in 68, 69, Army with a Bronze Star. Thank you. And And I'm a Marine. I was there in Vietnam in 71, 72. We did a lot of, I don't even want to say anything about this. But anyway, it gets to me, all the things we had to do. But from all this that's been here, I've been traveling all over the world. I've been in this place right here, the Capitol, the White House, the monument there. Everywhere I've been fighting the deportation of military veterans. In 2000, so hello, hello. Turn it off. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello. We are one. We are one. You guys ready? We are one. 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 Hello. There you go. There you go. Okay, coming back to all this, when we volunteered to go to, got our benefits, we went and signed up for our benefits middle of 2008. Well, January 5th of 2009, I got a letter from Homeland Security to appear in court to be deported from this country, to go to Denver. So January 29th, I drove to Denver, and I could not believe it. The judge goes, hey, where's your lawyer? I said, why do I need a lawyer for it? You know, and he goes, Mr. Valenzuela, your proceedings to be deported from this country. I said, Your Honor, I'm a Marine. That's right. And I fought in Vietnam, and I'm a Marine, you know. And he goes, it don't matter. I said, what? And then I said, he goes, Homeland Security, what do you say? You're going to have to go get yourself a lawyer, and 30 or 40 days more, you're going to come back. I said, whoa. On the way home from Denver to Colorado Springs, halfway to the house, one of my brothers called me up, hey, go to the Memorial Hospital. Mom just died. I said, what? So I drove straight to the hospital, and I saw my mom, and I said, wow. And all my family were there. I said, to myself, I'm not going to say nothing about me here. It's her day. Excuse me. Anyway, I didn't say a thing about it, so I just took it, and then later on I was working on paperwork about her death, and I saw a paper saying my mom was born in Lubbock, New Mexico, in the United States. I said, yeah! Six of us were born in Mexico, and 6 in the United States. Mom and Dad were busy. I mean, it was beautiful. 8 brothers and 4 sisters. I mean, that was something. We were working in the fields and all that, but the idea is coming back. I was looking at the paperwork, and I said, well, there's something about my mom being born in the United States. I went to the library, and I asked the guy to help me out, and I found the statute that said, the second I took breath in Mexico, I'm an American citizen. I said, yes! So I got the document, and then about the next month, my brother came to my house, and he looked like hell. I mean, I said, hey, bro, what's wrong with you? He goes, take a look at this. The same document that I got, he got to be deported from this country. I said, whoa. I said, I'll be right back. I put it on the table. I went to my room, and I forgot mine, and I put mine by his. He looked at it. He goes, whoa, you too? I said, yeah. I said, goes to show you, when we apply for benefits, military benefits that we earn the right to do, to fight, and we did. He saved. We got a Bronze Star. He saved 2 FBI agents interrogating the Viet Cong. and he got loose, and he got him all beat up, but he got in there. He saved them. The idea is, I found out that second that we went and filed for benefits, they find ways to get rid of us. You know what I'm saying? That money right there, every veteran that puts his life on the line, when he lifts his hand and gives the oath to protect America, 100% American. He puts his life to be American, and people that come from other countries like right there, they pay money to be American citizens. And veterans are being deported. Without us, none of you be here, standing here and having this freedom. All this freedom is because we put our lives on the line. We protected the rest of our lives. I'm doing it now still. I got that RV, and I want everybody, before I forget, when this is over, all of you are welcome to go on that side of the fence right there. You see my RV, and we'll take a big picture. Whoever wants to around it, when you guys are invited, take a picture of it. But the idea, we have to keep fighting, because it's very important that this president of the United States, I do tell him, by the way, when he was president, way back, I wrote him a letter. I wrote him a letter way back when I got the removal notice from me and my brother. I asked him to help us. You know what? A 5-page letter, and I wrote all the things that's been happening about veterans being deported. I got a letter from him. You know what I'm saying? I got a letter from him. I couldn't believe it. And you know what he said? Oh, Mr. Valenzuela, I see your situation. Oh, thank you for your service. I said, what? That's the kind of commander-in-chief we have here? That I believe in the United States of America, a commander-in-chief should be a military veteran or a soldier. That's supposed to be. Because that's the commander-in-chief of the military. We don't have a commander-in-chief in the military up there. He's just a Sisilala and what's it? To me, that's a disgrace to America and all the countries of the world. See how ugly this person is here. It's violating our oath that we always said. We never leave nobody behind. Am I right? Never. And I carried him from Vietnam. I carried wounded. You don't do this. So to everybody, simplify to all of you. And you can all come and we take the picture. And I'm going up back to Colorado Springs. And I'm going to say, you know what, Veterans of Peace, they've been following me around all the time. Everywhere I go, they're there. They're number one. I love you guys and all you other groups here. And I'm very proud. And thank you all to let me speak out. And let's get him out of the office. He's worthless. And that rich guy can get the hell out of here. Hooray! All you guys.
Let him hear it, everybody. We got a couple more speakers. Hang with us. We're going to give you some calls to action for today, tomorrow, and the next day, and some general calls to action. Just stick with us. We've got a video now. How many of you listen to the podcast Gaslit Nation? Okay, well, I was expecting a bigger response. Well, if you don't, you should. It's incredible. The host of the podcast is named Andrea Chalupa. She's an authoritarian expert and documentary filmmaker. She was with us in January, and she's going to join us now by video. Give her a round of applause, please.
It's Andrea Chalupa from the podcast Gaslit Nation. I'm also the writer and producer of the journalistic thriller Mr. Jones about Stalin's genocide famine in Ukraine, a film that shows that Russia has been trying to viciously genocide, colonize Ukraine for a very long time now. And Putin is just the latest dictator in Moscow, trying to kill off as many Ukrainians as possible, take their land, and replace their towns and cities with Russians. And he's using mass murder, he's using buying off useful idiots in the West, like Trump and Vance, to do this. It's history repeating. And if you want to see this history, watch my film, Mr. Jones. You can get it for free from your local library. There's some streaming services that you could rent it from. There's also a book called In the Shadow of Stalin, The Story of Mr. Jones. I'm telling you all this because as someone who has researched Kremlin aggression for decades, it's playing out just like it always has. And the way the Kremlin operates is that they carry out a lot of horrible acts of war against their closest neighbors. They start with state propaganda because all genocides begin with hate speech. So they take to the air in TV and radio stations that the government controls or oligarchs that they have in their pocket control. And they start making claims to land. They start saying that Ukrainians don't exist. Ukrainians aren't it's not a real country. And they're saying the same about Poland, Baltic states like Estonia, Lithuania, and so on. And it doesn't stop. Why does it not stop? Because Russia is committed to have its empire back. Instead of taking care of their own people, investing in their own people and building a strong, stable democracy, which would be risky to the ruling oligarchs. They would lose their power. They'd have to be accountable to the people. They'd have to face elections. They don't want to do that. So instead, they rely, in order to stay the most powerful court of oligarchs in the world, they rely on totalitarianism. They rely on creating enemies within and without. That is what this is all about. They want to live above international law. They want to enrich themselves, and they buy off people around the world in order to do that. And so what you see playing out in the US is just the Kremlin's playbook going back a very long time now. They did this under the Soviets, and they're doing it now under Putin. And it's not surprising to any of us who have been watching Russia's many wars in recent years, who predicted that we were headed towards a war in Ukraine, who predicted that Donald Trump was just a Kremlin Trojan horse. There's a reason why he sounds like a Russian asset. It's because he is. Now, the institutions that were supposed to protect American democracy, American sovereignty, failed us. Merrick Garland clung to norms while Republicans were setting those norms on fire. That failed us. And the Democrats in Congress, they could have been fighting for a ban on Trump and other traitors to our country, other seditionists who were part of Trump's violent attempted coup on January 6th. The Democrats could have stand firm with the U.S. Constitution and say, according to the 14th Amendment, Article 3 of the U.S. Constitution, Trump and those who aided him in Congress on January 6th, their violent attempt to try to overthrow our democracy, the will of the people, they should be banned from holding office. That should have been the big mission in the weeks that followed January 6th, 2021. So the Democratic Party establishment failed us. Now, every single elected official, every single patriot left in America's crumbling institutions need to believe their eyes and ears of what's happening. Trump, Musk, and Vance are destroying America from within. They're moving very quickly because this is a purge. They are openly, gleefully destroying people's lives, ripping away their jobs, ripping away what's left of their safety nets to stay alive. Social Security, Medicaid, all of that is on the chopping block. They're going for all of it. Why? Because they are traitors to this country, trying to destroy America within so that we will be easier to conquer, so they can establish a dictatorship and keep us in check. Same dictator playbook that Putin used to consolidate his power in Russia. And they're going to rule over the ashes of what was once America and join the immense wealth and lack of accountability of the Russian oligarchs. And together they're going to rule the world in their spheres of influence, in their little neighborhoods. That is the plan here, and we're seeing it play out. Our time to stop them was years ago, but again, our institutions failed at that all-important job. And so now, to the patriots who are left among us, who have any lever of power, no matter how seemingly small, you need to use it now. You need to use it now. We need to use everything that we have, marching, protests, even showing up to the offices of Democratic officials demanding that they fight. And if they're too tired or scared to fight, then step aside and let someone else do the fighting in their place. They shouldn't be there in this moment in history that is calling to them. We also need to write letters, be vocal on social media, run for office, primary representatives who are useless right now. We need to understand that they are
La 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 la. Everybody. La 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 la. Putin huilo. next time, Donald Trump. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Donald Trump Willow. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Donald Trump Willow. La 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 la. La 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 la. Elon Musk. La 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 la. Elon Musk Willow. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Elon Musk Willow. La 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 la. JD Vance. La 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 la. La 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 la. JD Vance Willow. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Last time. J.D. Vance Willow. Thank you.
Let him hear it, everybody. We've got one more speaker. One more speaker. Thanks for hanging out. And then we're going to tell you, we've got another event later today, and then we've got events tomorrow and the next day, too. We're going to tell you about that. But before we do, let me introduce my friend Josh Johnson. He's a co-founder of 14th Now and NowMarch.org. He's an LGBTQIA pastor and the pastor of Envision Church in West Hollywood, Los Angeles. Or let me say it like this, Los Angeles. Please give it up for my good friend, Mr. Josh Johnson.
Hello, patriots. Should I say hello, warriors, fighters, hello? How about just Americans? How about that? Hey. Yes, yes, yes. What a thrilling, beautiful, blessed day this is. I just wanted to welcome you all, and it's been, I've kind of been on the perimeter here, but I wanted to let you know that just a little bit about the story, how I got here. About 12 days ago, I was speaking with Miss Jessica Denson. Isn't she fantastic? She is really the face of this movement. Yes, she is. We've had kind of a long but a short history, y'all. We started 2 months ago in the bitter freeze. It's the coldest I've ever been in my life. I'm damaged from it right here in Washington, D.C. It was January the 4th, and we were on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. And you know that Jessica has been the sole voice that's been platforming the lever, the power that we have in Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, just like March the 14th, right? An awesome, awesome namesake for this day. Yes, so we just wanted to thank you for that and tell you that everything that you've done, every step that you've taken today is not in vain. It's not in vain. Yes, you clap for that. I enjoy some claps. Yeah. I do. I am a pastor. I'll get into that in just a second. But those of you that know that song, well, unlike Gwen Stefani, I am a hollaback girl. So I need you to holla back and talk to me today. Yes. So this is a very real, very wonderful, very moving moment that you are a part of today. And I'm struck by everything that I'm singing, everything that I've heard.
What? Alright, don't let him get He's here to get a reaction. Apologize for running into you by accident.
What is the whole fucking point, yo? What is the point? What is your fucking point? You guys, I mean?
Oh, well, can we see your face, though?
Can we see your face?
You got small dick energy. His fucking hairline.
No, come on, let's see your face, man. Hey, you're gonna give me you proud. Let's see your fucking face, bro. Let's see your fucking face, bro.
Come on, man. Let's see your face.
Hold the man.
Don't give him the reaction. Be a man. Show your face. Don't give him the reaction. Don't give it to him. He wants a reaction. Don't give it to him.
Trump tweeted, no man. No man.
Little man, I tried to apologize. Come on. What is your problem, little man?
So Ford just told me that apparently he was one of the January 6th
I am the visible
insurrectionists.
conscience of a nation. With regard to the costs of extremism and freedom's true price, I will not fail to support another veteran or those who cannot defend themselves. He or she may have loans or hardships that few others would understand. You love your belief system. Why hide your identity?
I just wanted to I am the last one today. So are you? I am. I just wanted to say that this moment.
You want to talk about this?
Yeah, I was just gonna shout out Jordan. And,
oh, cool.
Is that okay?
Absolutely, yeah. If you want to introduce yourself, yeah, we're live right now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, whenever you're ready.
Hi, everyone. I just want to, shout out Jordan. Sorry, it's like really loud. I want to thank Jordan because he's a badass and he's doing the work that needs to be done to fix all of this shit. And I just want to thank you behind the camera for, being on the ground and doing what it takes to get this done.
Thank you.
And, stand up to fascism, stand up to oligarchy, stand up to authoritarianism. This is live right now. This is not a scrimmage. It's not a drill. We got to take this opportunity in this moment right now. So if you're able to get involved, please get involved in your area, or if you're in this area, we got pretty good turnout today, but we need more people because we have power in numbers. So thank you, and God bless all of you.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
What's your name?
Wes.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother. Nice to meet you too. For sure. Keep doing what you're doing, man.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the support.
That is what we were talking about.
He's probably going to come back.
I apologize. I said, I want to apologize to your face. I accidentally bumped into you.
Oh, yeah? Got out of a halfway.
I stand before you not activist, but I am.
Why you want to do it?
All right, guys. I hope you're still there with me. Thank you for watching. I'm gonna stay live. I just want to remind you to smash that like button and share this live stream. And if you are new to Status Quo, please subscribe. If you can, please become a member. That is how we are able to do our work for you, the people. To become a member, go to statusquo.com/join. Sign up. It's only $5 a month. Share our stuff with friends, family, spread the word, because there's no other media out here. I mean, there are, but do you see this live streamed on CNN or Fox or MSNBC or anywhere on TV? Maybe they're covering it, but I really doubt that they're streaming it, live streaming it for you guys like we do.
Is that okay for doing a selfie?
Not everyone here.
Want me to hold the whole thing? That's good, that's good.
Oh.